Hi, it's Lisa, and I'm just popping on today to do a little bit of a very unedited, unscripted video. So I thought let's do a little end of 2025 and answer some of your questions. I've got my laptop with me, so if I keep glancing over here somewhere, it's because I am reading your questions. I've found them all on different videos and I have just put them as a bullet point list of questions. We're going to go in random order and I will just answer them the best I can. So let's start with the first one, which is what are my favorite colors to paint with, and do I have any go to combinations? Yes, yes, I do. My two absolute favourite colours are phthalo blue and phthalo green, which are both in that kind of petrolly, not sure if they're blue or if they're green. They're very rich colors. They can be pretty dark colors as well. And as for color combinations, anybody that's been following me for a while will know that that base mix of various shades of light blues through to dark blues, light greens through to dark greens, and any combination in between. So the aquas, the turquoises, the peacocks, anything like that, any of those mix. In fact, you get phthalo turquoise as well. So I suppose that's another favourite too. Any of that sort of combination of the blue and the green, or blues on its own or greens on its own, those are my favourite colours to paint with. Okay, can you tell us a bit more about you and how you got into art? Hi, my name is Lisa. I am 46 years old. I live in Scotland with my husband and my 10-year-old daughter. We have a dog, two cats, four guinea pigs, and a tank of fish that's got a couple of snails in it as well. So we all love animals. How I got into art, so when I was growing up, I wanted to be a dancing teacher. And then I had lots of problems with my knees and things, and that was never going to happen. So I kind of round about the age 16 switched my interests from purely focusing on the dancing over here, then on to art and painting and drawing, but it was very much rooted in costume design because I had that dance knowledge and love of dance. I also was very involved in theatre. So I wanted to go and design costumes for the ballet, or costumes for the theatre, or costumes for film and TV. And that's actually what I went to art school to study. I studied costume design. I came out, I became a costume designer. I worked in various theatres, did lots of freelance stuff for years. And then I took that knowledge and I set up my own wedding dress design company, where I designed wedding dresses that were historically based. So dresses from the 50s were my kind of predominant, can't say that easily, can we? Were my predominant style. So the kind of historical costume stuff came into the wedding dresses. And then when my daughter was 3, we moved out to the countryside. It was a longer commute to my wedding dress shop. There was a little bit of a blip in the market at the time as well. And it just seemed the right time to close all of that down. And luckily I did, because about a year later, COVID happened, and it would have had to close down anyway. I have a wee sip of my tea. It's spiced pear and it's delicious. Um, yeah, so the wedding dress business closed down, and I actually went off and taught baby sign language. But during baby sign language, COVID happened, lockdown happened, and I found myself creating again. And I started off by creating little fairies because, as you all know, I love a little bit of magic and a little bit of kind of Scottish folklore and the mischievous fairies and creatures that live all around us. So I started off by making fairies, and then I just slowly, naturally got back into drawing and painting. Long story short, I got accepted to sell my work in a local gallery and gift shop that I actually became a partner in and helped run for years. And through that, I really developed my painting and started selling my painting. However, did not fully focus on painting and nothing but painting until I broke. Oh wow, my scar is almost faded. Wow, it's the first time I've noticed. The mascara is almost gone. But I didn't really focus fully on painting until I broke my wrist in February this year, so February 2025. And on the 1st of March in 2025, started my daily art challenge. So this challenge is going to keep going into the first couple of months of 2026, and I will finish it at the end of February, so not long to go. Next question is, what paints do you use most often and why do you use them? I have two types, of favorite paints. Type, I'm always using acrylics. When I am painting professionally, I'm always using acrylics. When I'm painting for fun, I use some other types of paint too, but it's always acrylics. But I have two favorite types. I have one, I'm going to stretch over to my paints, Liquitex. So Liquitex is one of my go-to brands, but I use both the Liquitex Basics and the Liquitex heavy-bodied professional acrylics. So they're basic acrylics and they're heavy-bodied. Their basic acrylics are good for coverage. They're a little bit thinner. Obviously, heavy-bodied paints do tend to be a bit thicker. They've got great color choice. They've got great saturation of colors as well. So they're both really, really good. But I use a mix of both. I like them for different things. The heavy bodies is a little bit thicker. So sometimes actually the basics ones are what you want and are easier to work with. So two types of Liquitex, the basics and the heavy bodies. And my other go-to brand at the moment is Winsor and Newton, but I am using, sorry, these are little mini ones, but yeah, then I've got tons of them. These are the ones I'm using for my daily art challenge. So because I'm just painting tiny, tiny little canvases, it's fine having small amounts of them about. But this is the Galleria acrylics. So this is Winsor and Newton. It's not their basic and it's not their professional. It's kind of like, I think, what they aim at students. So it's kind of like a middle of a range one. I just find it's a really nice creamy consistency, and it's kind of in between these two. It's not quite as thick as the Liquitex heavy bodied, but it's not quite as thick as the Liquitex Basics. So Winsor and Newton is my other go-to paint brand. What do you usually pack in your travel kit when you are painting out and about? That is a fantastic question, and it's actually one that I plan to do a video on. So I'm not going to go into great detail. I have two out and about kits. I have this one, which is a bit heftier. It's just in a canvas bag. And this is my acrylic painting kit. So I've actually got a pochade box or a field easel, which I actually made myself. So I wanted to do a little video. Probably can't show you how I made it because I don't think I recorded much of it. But just chatting you through that. And that is actually like, it's a little field easel, so I can actually paint on this, and it goes on a tripod, and I can actually stand the whole thing up and paint, which is why there is a bag full of stuff, because it's got a tripod in there, it's got a little canvas in there. It's also got my other camera holder for filming, so when I'm filming out and about. So this is if I was doing like proper going out to do filming out and about, or an actual full-sized acrylic painting. So I would load that all up with acrylic paints, and it would be basically like my studio but on the go. And I did manage to get it into a pretty small canvas bag, but that's probably not what the person that was asking. I'm pretty sure they're more talking about like a little grab and go kit that you can just take on holiday, take when you're going away. Basically, it's a handbag, so I can have my purse and everything in this as well. It's got space for a water bottle, so I can have a water bottle with it too. So this is actually a bag I found in a charity shop. It's just the perfect size for my grab and go painting kit. But just quickly, because like I say, I don't want to go into tons of detail, but it took me many, many years to find the perfect grab and go kit. So I will do a full video just on what's in here. But quickly, super quickly, we've got some little mini sketchbooks so that we've got nothing too big. And then I've basically got everything that I possibly need in the one sort of chunky pencil case. Like I say, I'm not going to go through it all, but I'm just giving you a little sneak peek. So I've got pencils and pens and water brushes in there. And then in the middle bit, I've got actually a watercolor kit, because I find when you're out and about and you need to just not set up and you just need to start painting, watercolors are better. So I've got watercolor pencils and a little watercolor palette. And then there's a few extra handy dandy things in there. There's a few extra pieces that I keep in the bag while I'm out and about as well. I will make another video and I will chat you through what is fully in this kit, and talk to you about it in a bit more detail, because it did take me a long time to suss out exactly what I needed. And what I love about this is it is just also my handbag when I'm going out, throw my purse and my water bottle in it and I'm good to go. It stays permanently packed so that I don't need to think about it, and I can just take it with me and have it wherever I go. So that if something inspires me or I get a moment and I want to do some painting, I've literally got everything with me and I don't need to have pre-thought about it or pre-packed it. I'm like, look, I've got my glasses on my head and I'm like straining to see what it says on my laptop. That's really bad. The reason I'm not wearing them though is, look, you can just see my lighting in them, so we're going to keep those back. Is it tough painting every single day, and how do I stay motivated? Yes, yes, it is tough painting every single day, and it is tougher than I thought it was going to be, and it is particularly hard in the month of December, which is where we are now. Mostly because I kind of forgot of all the extra stuff that needs to happen in December in the run up to the 25th. Um, so yeah, it's tough. It's like I have never felt so creatively drained. At times, I've just thrown. I mean, you've probably noticed, if you've been following the challenge, you've probably noticed that there are days where I've just basically put marks on the paper. I've done some abstract flower patterns, or the very basic of basic thing, because I felt exhausted, actually physically exhausted. And I think it's just like creative melt and my brain not knowing what to do next. So remember that because I am sharing all of this with you, not only am I spending an hour to 2 hours painting every day, definitely getting faster. So it was closer to 2 hours of painting at the beginning. And even some days now I can get, done with in just under an hour, depending on what I'm painting. I'm usually painting between an hour and 2 hours. And I'm filming it all. So then I have to take those videos and time lapse, and then I need to put them all together, and I need to edit it. And then I need to write my little description about why I painted and what I was thinking about when I painted, what it means, all those little things. And then I have to export that video into a format that I can upload to YouTube, and then I upload it to YouTube and put in all the details and all the stuff that goes in there. So it takes at least 3 hours every day. Some days, if I'm doing a super fast painting, I can get it closer to the 2 hours. But it's a lot of time every day. It's a lot of time every day when you've got a house to run, and you've got a family, and you've got kids, and you need to do the school run and the clubs and all the things that happen in life. But what I didn't realize, I knew that was going to be a struggle. I knew that I was going to have to try and find that time to fit it in every day, and then you don't get a day off. But I didn't really understand the mental drain. Not like, oh, it was really tough. Just like the creative drain of like running out of ideas. How do I stay motivated? You guys supporting me. Honestly, I feel like every time I'm having a really bad day, and that I'm kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I'm going, somebody leaves some truly amazing comment about how I'm inspiring them to do something else, or how they're having a really bad time and watching my video has helped them, or it helps them get to sleep at night. They have used, some of you have been using my tutorials to spend time with family and painting along with family. Like, it just, every time I think I'm struggling, then I get some amazing comment and it keeps me going. Seeing my subscribers going up is keeping me going. Just, and your ideas. So again, I can be like totally brain dead. What am I going to paint? And then somebody leaves some fantastic comment about, oh, I was wondering if Pipkin's leaf was the same leaf, or if it was like a selection of leaves, or if it was magical leaves. And I was like, well, clearly he has a selection of magical leaves. And then I got to paint Pipkin's selection of magical leaves. So, or a few months ago, people were sending me photos of what to paint, or just giving me ideas. All of your guys' enthusiasm for the Mushwoods and Faefern Forest all of that, honestly, from, oh, don't clang my microphone, but honestly, from the bottom of my heart, all of that is what is totally keeping me motivated and keeping me going. We are in the 300s, which means the countdown is really, really on. And this is the end of 2025, and I finished this challenge at the beginning of March 2026. So not long to go. But you guys are what's keeping me going right now, because it has been really tough recently, particularly with the darker days, shorter days here in Scotland. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing, and I couldn't do it without you. Okay, let's whiz through a few of the quick ones, and then I'm going to get answering the big one. Um, so Um, how long does one of your pieces usually take start to finish? Just kind of answered that. So I'm usually painting for between an hour to 2 hours. Certainly at the moment closer to an hour, just to get them all done quickly. Do I sketch everything out first, or do I paint it straight on the canvas? Well, if you are following my daily time lapses, which are the kind of like 5 to 8 minute time lapses on my YouTube channel, you will see that the majority of the time I'm just painting it straight onto the canvas. Once in a blue moon, you'll see me doing a little bit of a pencil sketch, sometimes on a dried layer of paint. So I put down a base and then do a little bit of a sketch before adding the next thing, but very, very rarely. Like maybe I've done it on 3 paintings so far out of 300. Most of the time, paint is going straight on the canvas. Okay. What do I do on the days when the inspiration just isn't there? I think I've answered that one as well. Usually I look to you guys, because I read a few comments and usually it sparks some kind of inspiration. But I also still have lists. I've got a little notebook. I've got a little notebook, which I'm sure you guys have seen before. Um, and people have constantly through this challenge been giving me ideas. So I've got like a little list of ideas that came from you. And please feel free to keep suggesting them. And so yeah, I can go to that list as well. If I'm totally struggling, I can just go to that list and see if there's anything that jumps out on me. So that one's always good. Do I listen to anything while I'm painting, music, podcasts, etc.? Well, I'll tell you, don't actually listen to music when I'm painting. I do enjoy a podcast, so I have listened to some podcasts. I do enjoy an audiobook, so I have listened to audiobooks. But what I also do is on my iPad, I will play some of my favorite long watched TV shows, pardon me, and things like Gilmore Girls, Supernatural, oh my goodness, brain's gone blank. The originals, Vampire Diaries, oh, what else? Usually kind of magical, witchy things as well, like in Charmed, watch Charmed, Ghost Whisperer, quite enjoy a bit Ghost Whisperer, and things like the Wing Saga, Lock and Key. So things that have got a little bit of magic and mystery and fairies and things related to them too, but only ones that I have watched before and that I have watched lots of times. Because when I'm painting, I'm not watching them, I'm just listening to them. So I kind of use them in the same way as a podcast or an audiobook. So that's the kind of thing. I've got going on in the background. Sorry, reading next question. Next question. Have you ever thought about turning your characters into a book or prints? Well, yes. I would absolutely love to turn Faefern Forest and the mushwoods into, well, it's getting late, the Mushwoods and Faefern Forest into a book. That would be amazing. I'm looking over here because it's up on my inspiration board for the year coming. Get a book deal. I would absolutely love to do that. Prints are coming. It's just been a crazy old year, so I've just got originals up for sale at the moment. Prints are definitely coming. And I've got a few more ideas as well for the Mushwoods, but I'll talk about that because I know there's a question coming up that I'm gonna answer that. I'm trying to just whiz through as many of these as I can now. What's the biggest thing I've learned from doing the daily art challenge? Anything is possible if you set your mind to it. I just decided, because of my broken wrist, that I was going to start this challenge and I was just going to do it. And here I am, almost done. And I will do it. So you can do anything that you set your mind to. Just decide and go for it. Don't let anybody tell you can, or don't let those doubts creep in or think it's not possible. Go for it. Also, the more you practice something, the better you get at it. It actually blows my mind frequently when I paint something that's similar to something that I've painted before. I was requested to paint another little elven fairy treetop village, and I actually did one quite recently, but the one before that I did with a little bit more time, and I compared it to the very first one that I had done maybe only about 6 to 8 weeks before, and the difference in skill level between them actually blew my mind. I have a little plan that during January I am going to try and repaint some of the inspiration from week one and just see the difference so that I can actually compare the paintings, the week one paintings, and then doing them in January. So yeah, anything that you want to get better at doing, do a little bit of it every day. Maybe not every single day, every second day. And you will absolutely get better. If you want to get better at drawing, get your sketchbook out and do 10 minutes every day. If you want to get better at people, practice people. I didn't even know that I could paint animals in the way that I paint animals. I have actively avoided putting animals into my woodland art up until this challenge, and now I absolutely love it. I've painted deer and badgers and hares and squirrels and pigeons and crows and robins and bunnies and moorhares and foxes, you name it. Woodland animals, I've probably painted it, and I absolutely loved it. And I didn't think that was even a thing that I could possibly do. So just practice anything you like and you will get better at it. Right. Do I prefer painting traditionally or digitally? Because I've done some digital sketches of the mushwoods. 100% prefer painting traditionally. However, sometimes when it is 10 o'clock at night and you're sitting on the sofa watching TV, then if you can do some sketches and stuff digitally, it's easy. It's the best thing. You don't even need to get out paper and pencil, just iPad and a digital pencil sorted. But I do much prefer painting traditionally with paints. Sorry, I keep reading ahead. Where do most of my ideas for Faefern Forest come from? Fantastic question. Scotland. I live at the foot of some hills in the central belt of Scotland. We have beautiful countryside. I am super, super lucky and I know it, that I can walk 2 minutes down the road and be into the most beautiful, enchanted, magical woodlands. And we have a dog. So I'm saying dog quietly because he's down there trying to be asleep. Yeah, and I just walk him, and I've always found woodland magical. Ever since I was a little kid, walking through the woods and seeing little hollows in trees, and little arches in the roots, and just sometimes the way the branches move. And I always think, oh, that's where the fairies live. That's a little portal into their land. There's even just little groups of trees near here that kind of have like arched brambles and bracken and stuff that make like a little tunnel as you go into them. And when you step through those little archways and tunnels, it kind of, the atmosphere changes and they just feel magical, like you have stepped into a little different land or realm or something like that. So my imagination and the Scottish landscape and countryside, like I say, I'm so lucky to live where I live and have all this beautiful, wonderful stuff around me. Yeah, that, I mean, I think I could probably waffle on for a whole video on where my ideas for Faefern Forest come from. But in a nutshell, that is most of it. Right, one more quick question and then the big one. Okay, last quick question. What advice would you give someone who paints to more who bleh, what advice would you give someone who wants to paint more regularly but struggles to get started? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep it short. So two things might be, first thing might be that you're struggling to paint more regularly. I would say do not start a daily art challenge. That is a lot of work. Journaling. Um, so if it's painting and not just sketching, doing a little every 2 or 3 days, do like a little painting journal. So like something that you saw that day, something that you've seen over the last couple of days, something that you've done, but you can do it like really, really small in a sketchbook. Just like a little thing. Maybe it's your coffee cup. Maybe it's your spiced pear winter warmer mug of tea. Maybe it's a walk you went on. Maybe it's just some colors that you were thinking about. But basically, don't try to make it a finished painting. If you're trying to paint more regularly, then do it like a little journal and just put anything down on your page that you feel inspired to do, and then scroll a couple of little notes about why you painted it, what inspired you, anything you like. But yeah, I would do it as a little journal, but sketching, drawing journals are fine to do daily. But if you're actually going to paint and you want to do more painting, then I would say maybe just aim for every 2 or 3 days to do a little bit. If the problem is that you want to paint more often, but you struggle to get started painting, then what I would say is it's probably the being scared of the blank canvas that's the biggest thing. So one of the best things that you can do is just whack down a color wash. Literally just put anything down, pick your favorite colors, pick a couple of colors, and just basically get rid of the white. I have got a whole little playlist of videos about top tips for getting started and things, and there's loads and loads of advice in there about just getting over that kind of block of getting started. But getting a colour wash down is probably one of the best things you can do. And also just keeping a little list of ideas, because sometimes you get an idea for something that you want to paint, but you can't paint right at that moment in time. And then when you do come to paint, you can't think of any of your ideas. So if you keep a little list, either write it down in a notebook or just keep a little list note on your phone, so when you're out and about you can jot them down, then that can be a really good idea and a good way to get over kind of getting started block. So hopefully that helps. Okay, the big question. I've left this one to last because it's really hard to answer. What am I going to do when the daily art challenge finishes? I know. What am I going to do when the daily art challenge finishes? I'm going to still be here, is what I'm going to be. I am not going to be painting daily. I will try and continue to post videos and shorts as frequently as I can, and I will definitely be aiming for one video drop a week. But I'm going to have to take a little tiny break from posting something every single day, and just from even painting every single day. So what's going to happen after the daily art challenge? Well, I'm still going to be doing tutorials, which I've actually slowed down on doing because the daily art challenge is taking up so much time. So I'll definitely be going back to hopefully weekly painting tutorials. So complete beginner friendly, talking you through it step by step, or a very slowed down time lapse over a good 10-15 minutes where you can watch a bit, pause, copy, watch a bit, pause, copy, with and without voiceovers. I'll mix it up. There'll be loads, and then there'll be full half-hour tutorials, hour-long tutorials. I'll go live more often, which will be good as well. But on top of that, I really want to explore more. I keep looking up here, sorry guys, I've got my big vision board up on the wall up there. So all my ideas for next year are all just over there out of reach of you. I can reach them. But with the Mushwoods and Faefern Forest, I want to explore more of that. So I really want to get deep into that. I've already started thinking about a map. I want to think about maybe some stories and whether I can pull enough paintings together to illustrate something into an illustrated book. I want to create, I don't feel like maybe I shouldn't give too much away. No, I'm going to tell you because you guys are awesome and amazing. So I'm just going to tell you. I want to create the Mushwoods in other media. So I've done some digital sketches, but that's just kind of playing about with ideas. What I want to do is use my sewing skills from when I was a wedding dress designer, and I want to have a go at maybe making a plushie, and that's the universal sign for plushie apparently. I want to have a go at making a soft squishy plushie, maybe velvety mushwood character. I have done a lot of air dry clay sculpting. I've made a lot of fairy houses in the past and little mushroom houses out of jars and things. So I want to do some of those specifically for the Mushwoods. but I also want to have a go at actually sculpting the mushwoods out of air dry clay and then painting them. So I think that'll be really fun. And then maybe I'll have a go at doing them out of polymer clay as well, just to compare. I absolutely want to try building my own squishy. So like, you know, like a kid's squishy, because my daughter's obsessed with squishies. So I want to have a go making my own squishy and painting a squishy to look like a mushwood as well. I don't know. Maybe I'll embroider some mushwoods too. I, so I want to continue doing my tutorials and actually do them more regularly. More of my top tip videos as well, and like helping you guys learn to paint. That's what I really want to do, is make sure more people actually can learn to paint and take it up as a hobby. I believe everybody can give it a go and do it. So I want to do more of that, and then I want to explore Faefern Forest and the Mushwood Gang, and I want to create them in many different ways. Maybe explore a map and a book. Maybe if we get some good designs, maybe I'll get some bags printed or some t-shirts printed or something as well. We can have some Mushwood Gang merchandise that you guys can wear, Faefern Foresters or something. Anyway, loads of ideas based around that. The daily art challenge will be stopping, and I will have to take a little bit of a break from producing content every single day. But I'm not going anywhere. The channel is not going anywhere. In fact, hopefully, I will get more time to show up as me and chat to you guys and help you guys. And if there's anything that you want to see in a tutorial in terms of acrylic painting, let me know and I will do it. I know I've got people asking about specific techniques and about color theories and stuff like that, and I will absolutely get round to recording all those videos and getting them out there for you. And on top of that, we're gonna see what happens with Faefern and the Mushwoods. Who'd have thought that that would come out of this art challenge? I certainly wasn't prepared for it, but that's the magic that happens when you set yourself a crazy challenge and you paint every single day. Just want to say another massive, massive, massive thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. You are really keeping me going, and we're going to get there. We're almost there, but it's not disappearing. There is much, much more to come, and I am so excited to share it with you all. Bye for now. Thanks.